Earlier on this afternoon, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was on hand for the running of the Queen Elizabeth Bicentennial Stakes in Canberra. It was a great race, with all eyes on the mighty New Zealander Bone Crusher up against the champion 3-year-old, Australia's first $2 million stakes winner, Bozam. Adrian Swift takes us for a day out with the Royals.
The race was billed as a battle royal, and the first sight the 20,000-strong crowd got of the royal personage was behind the windows of the Regal Roller, heavy machinery on a track also heavy from recent rain. Wearing a blue double-breasted coat with a matching hat, the Queen went into the new Canberra racecourse stand that bears her name to meet the Prime Minister, Mr Hawke, and his wife Hazel, as well as dignitaries from the ACT Racing Club before the British national anthem was played. The Queen wasn't only in Canberra to witness a great horse race. Her official duty was to unveil the Queen Elizabeth stand. But while all eyes were on her, Jim Cassidy on Bone Crusher was pondering the tactics of a 6-horse race.
Well, it's going to be a funny race. It's a small field. You know, there might be no pace, and the way I'm sort of trying to sum it up, I think I'm going to have to take the race to Bozam instead of letting him dictate the race. And if I can take the race to him and have a nice run and running, you know, anything can happen. It's a funny game.
Her Majesty paid close attention to the form guide. A family favourite in the big race might have been Dandy Andy, but then Princess Anne had ridden Bozam in track work on an earlier trip to Sydney. As far as Bozam's trainer Bart Cummings was concerned, he would have welcomed the opportunity of a royal flutter on his horse.
Well, I'm a bit of a royalist, and I like to support those who support racing, and the royal family over many centuries have supported racing, and I like to help those that help the industry that helps me.
Bone Crusher looked relaxed and fit as he was led into the mounting yard, while Bozam looked to have lightened off a bit. But who knows if the Queen's inspection didn't give the two champions a touch of anxiety. Betting immediately prior to the start favoured Bozam, the dead track working for the 3-year-old colt, the 4-to-1 on favourite.
Bone Crusher drawn the outside, racing, and Bone Crusher out wide, jumped well, as did Bozam and Bungarby down towards the inside. Manitota's looking for the lead. Dandy Andy and Wexford Castle is dropping out to last as they race down towards the winning post. Just over 1 circuit to go, and the leader was Manitate. Bone Crusher moves to second, Bungarby third, followed by Bozam, and the next one was Dandy Andy, who's racing on the outside of Wexford Castle. On the turn out of the straight now, they've got 1,600 to go, and Manitate leads the field up the side. Bone Crusher second, followed by Bungarby third. A length behind those, Bozam, followed by Wexford Castle, and 3/4 of a length off Dandy Andy is last. Racing up the side now, they've got about 1,500 metres to go, and the leader was Manitate, a length and 3/4. Bone Crusher settling down well. 2 off third, Bungarby, a half a length, Bozam on the outside. 2 behind those, Wexford Castle, and 3/4 of a length off Dandy Andy is last. Down the back they race at the 1,200 metre mark, and Manitate under restraint the leader. A length and a half, Bone Crusher going beautifully in second place. A length and 3/4 then, Bungarby, Bozam's on the outside. Further back behind those then, Wexford Castle, and a length and a half, Dandy Andy is last. They're well inside the 1,000 metre mark in the Queen Elizabeth II Bicentennial Stakes, and on the 900 metre turn, it's Manitate, a length and 3/4, Bone Crusher. 3/4 of a length off then, Bungarby, Bozam is fourth, followed by Wexford Castle, and 3/4 of a length then, Dandy Andy, leaving the back, racing down the side. 700 metres out, and Manitate leads, a length and a half then, Bone Crusher second, followed further back in the field, Bozam moving around the outside. Over along the inside rail there, Bungarby, followed then by Dandy Andy, and Wexford Castle is ahead off last as they race up towards the turn, 500 metres out, and the leader Manitate. Bone Crusher moving up on the outside. Bozam moves to third, followed by Dandy Andy, Bungarby and Wexford Castle. Bone Crusher race to the lead, 300 to go. Bozam is going out after Bone Crusher and running on well, Dandy Andy, racing down to the 200 metre mark. It's Bone Crusher the leader. Bozam is trying hard. They draw clear. Bone Crusher in front. Bozam on the outside is trying hard. Bone Crusher, Bozam, they go to the line. Bozam just got up the lead, Bone Crusher. A long way third there was Dandy Andy.
What a great race, and the Queen being such a racing fan, she's had a fair tour around Australia, but I bet she hasn't had a better afternoon than this afternoon, Ian.
Would have been even better if she had a few shekels on Bozam as well.
You want to have plenty on him. He was about 4-to-1 on. You can check your dividends later on the news, but he was the hottest of hot favourites and he won well. Don't go away. In a moment, we catch up with America's hottest football tipster, Ted the Rooster.